Nice little.
That I'm at an all-time
What's up? What's up, everybody? KFL. It's the KFL Fantasy Show here. Justin Query, Todd Patrick, and Kraz. Quick show tonight. 20-minute session, probably 30-minute session. We're just going to go over a recap of Week 6. Talk about our locks, our sleepers, our trash can alerts. Some panned out, some didn't. And then we're going to save some of the Week 7 stuff for next Wednesday. So, how you guys doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. I got
going on, man?
light issues, but
Hey, it happens. I mean, if apologize for last week with my terrible service and all that stuff. So hey, things like that happen. What's going on, guys? Welcome. Week 6 is over, so let's get to it. Justin, what do you got for us, man?
yeah, man. Let's start out with our optimal lineup for Week 6. Chuck Wise with 18, Steve O'Brien with 17, along with Jake Angelis, and then came with a 16, and John Fox with 15 for a possible total of 83. I believe its top total that turned in was like 72. So nobody got the perfect lineup this week, but they were pretty close. I think a lot of people hit on 4 out of the 5. I think I had a pretty good week myself, but how about you guys? How'd your lineup turn out?
Go ahead, Todd.
I don't even know. I didn't look. I've been so busy with work. But it wasn't that good. A couple of guys that I had counted on, I don't think did the greatest, but definitely it wasn't in the 70s or 60s. I think it was in the 50s.
Yeah, I got to admit, I forgot to put in a lineup, boys. I know, being a host of this show, I was at the Susky, and when Justin said something to me on Sunday, I was like, oh, man, I completely forgot to put in a lineup. But I did have one of my locks in there, so I know he hit. But I did have someone who is no longer in the league in there as well, so I know I got a 0 for that. But, yeah, well, I don't even want to look now. I know I'm in 12th place when I was in 7th, so.
Yeah, I think you and me are sitting right next to each other right now.
Oh, great. I'll let you catch up.
You did. You gave me a little freebie on that one, but man, some of my picks, I think I had 2 or 3 in the top 8, so that's hard to beat.
let's look at the top. Let's look at the guys out of Winnipesaukee. I mean, there's 4 in the top 10.
Crazy.
That place is just showing out right now, and they got a KBF matchup there in 3 weeks. That place is showing out.
It was they put up another 172.
Jake Angelis is now leading the league in scoring. He does have 5 games to Coley McGowan's 4. He's averaging a little bit less, but that's because he had to come to Rhode Island, and Coley hasn't. Not to take anything away from him, but he took that sole spot in first place. Put up another 167 this week. Kid's been a monster the last 2 weeks.
Go down to some of the overalls, and there's Jake at 167 this week. Another big week. Yeah. And some of these guys, Steve and Cayman, are coming up on him, but what's Coley's got a pretty good lead still, right on first place.
Coley's dropped to second now.
Well, besides, once he gets his 5th, though, he should be there if you go by average.
Yeah, average. Let's see. If we're looking at who's producing right now for fantasy, we're looking at average per game. Coley McGowan 141.69 to Jake Angelis 114.95, but the bigger numbers are not even those 2 guys. They're top in scoring right now, but Matt Lee 166.83 average. It looks like. I'm gonna have to go back and double check that, but
it's like 2 weeks in a row we had a big week.
John Fox has got to have an average of over 150.
John Fox is right there, 165.67. I think Matt Lee changed his name in Fishing Chaos, so it's not picking up his last start. He should have 4 starts, which would drop that's what his average would have dropped. But I mean, he's still averaging 100 per game. So really not in that conversation with John Fox or Coley McGowan. Even Angulis got 115, but a 62 in week 1 will bring you down. What else you got for us, Justin? What's that?
I was just gonna say, I know John showed out in Florida twice, and I think once in South Carolina. I know he's got at least 3 starts, and they were all.
Yep.
I don't know. I think this was maybe his lowest overall total was this week.
Absolutely correct. Yeah, he's got a 147, 157.75, and he's got a 192.25 in week 1. So yeah, he's been on fire. I think he's the highest. If you have a minimum of 3 starts, he's the highest average start per game. I think I have it in here as a minimum of 2. He's got the highest average start per game at 165.67. Because I know Matt Lee's coming down.
Some of these guys are coming for him too. Rich Biggie and these guys, man, they're coming for him with some big scores lately. So it'll be interesting over the next couple of weeks to see who tries to sneak up on him for that. But
absolutely.
Hey, let me go over some ownership percentages. I got a couple questions for you for ownership if you got those numbers up.
Yeah, I do.
I'm just curious how many people actually owned Chuck Wise last week when he put up a score like that.
Chuck Wise, still scrolling.
You're going to be scrolling. I bet you it's under 2%.
Honestly, they don't even put him on here, so it might have been 0.
Yeah, it was a big swing and miss for everybody, but hey, that's how you make your name, right in fantasy.
We were wrong there on the sleepers, right?
Yeah, to go to one spot like that, 184, and it wasn't even close. I mean, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, they're all kind of right there with each other. But I mean, Chuck was way ahead of everybody. So if anybody could have figured that one out, you would have had your lineup.
Yeah, it does. It does seem though like our fantasy show is starting to get to people too. So we had Coley McGowan, who wasn't that high owned last week because I don't even know if he played. But he's up at 26% owned. I know he wasn't the top spot last week.
Yeah, I think he played last week, didn't he? No, he didn't. He played this week.
But he was at home this week. Everyone knows he's going to put up big numbers. It's what he does, right? Yep. 26% owned, 26 plus. Jake Angelis, 24.5% owned. Again, I know we've talked about him going off at Winnipesaukee, back-to-back home games. Those fish in the same pattern. So John Fox, he hasn't fished in a few weeks. He was up at 20% owned. So
Wow.
People definitely keeping an eye on him.
Yeah, I have him in my lineup. I know that.
I'll round out the top 5. So Josh Stewart, 15.25% owned. I think, Todd, you talked those guys up a little bit on tennis what was it, Kentucky Lake that they fished. Josh Stewart and Eric Siddiqui, 15.25 and 14.4% owned. So
Yeah, Josh did okay for you. I think he gave you like 11 points or 10 points.
And yeah,
He only ended up getting on six bites with their quality. I think he had 101 and a half or something like that for his best 6. But Kentucky Lake, it fished rough last week. Not as good as I thought it would show out.
yeah. It's interesting to see some of those ownership percentages changing though over the last couple of weeks. So we'll see how those continue. See if everybody kind of rides the hot hand, or people start picking up on some of these sleepers.
yeah.
Yeah, let's get into. You want to get into the last week's picks?
I got one more thing though. I got the Derek Brundle meter going.
Oh, that's right.
So we had Derek Brundle the first week that we started the show at 15.8% owned. So I think some people are starting to catch on, listen to us a little bit. They took him off of their roster. He's only 13.5% owned now. We are making progress, boys.
Let's see if we can get that under 10% after week 7.
Hey, that's what I'm shooting for.
All
right, man. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good, man. I forgot about that. It's so funny that he just stays in there. I mean, he's higher ownership percentage over the last 4 weeks combined than I think most people in the league. Jake, so pretty fine. All right, man. Week 6. Let's go over some locks. I threw some numbers in parentheses so everybody knows kind of what our numbers hit on. My lock of the week, Steve O'Brien. I mean, no-brainer for me last week, and he went out and showed out for me, showed out for everybody. What was his ownership percentage for Steve?
Steve O'Brien ownership. Let's see.
Got to be 20.
Nope, he's not in the top. He's
wow,
5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 11 point, basically 11% owned.
Wow. Okay.
We'll say. But he's definitely up, because I think last week he was like 4.6. I know. Okay. I was telling him how no one picked him.
Yeah, all right. They're starting to figure him out. So
yeah, on Winnipesaukee, the kid can catch smallmouth. He's got it going on.
He did, and I didn't know before I picked him, but after I picked him, I know he messaged me and said he was definitely on him. So I made the right pick and I stuck with it, and that paid off. Todd, how'd your lock pan out? I know we just talked about him a little bit.
Yeah, Josh, I think he put up 101 and a quarter or 101 and a half, so it didn't quite get him to 11 points, but. Kentucky Lake, it was rough fishery. If you saw the head-to-head, Alabama Hammers only put down one fish, so it didn't fish as good as I thought it would. But Josh did his thing. But obviously, I was the loser out of us 3 on locks of the week last week.
Yeah, what about you, Kraz? You put up another good one. That was a good pick last week. I put both of those in my lineup.
Yeah, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse by saying it, but I mean the kid's on him. Angulis is on him. It's summertime at Winnie. He's got the live scope. I mean, you see him looking at that live scope 90% of the time. It's unbelievable. The other 10% of the time he's taking pictures on his board. So, he's definitely got something going on there. And really at Winnie, August, September, I'm sticking. I'm going to stick with him. Unless I see something that really sticks out to me, like Coley McGowan, maybe this week or this past week was probably a good one too. But, I know he's going to put up 10 fish every single event. So, sticking with him.
All right, man. Let's get into our sleeper picks. I know my sleeper pick didn't put up the numbers. Only put 4 fish. But if you didn't catch the last, 5 minutes of the broadcast for that game, they were down, I think, 19.75 inches. Or they needed a 19.75 for a Cole to take the lead or tie it. And with 2 minutes left, Garrett Morgan drops a 20 and 3/4 inch bass and wins the game for him. Classic to do that. And he didn't put the numbers, but he put up the most important number. Didn't help my fantasy team any, but definitely took the win home for his team, and a big game for him.
You're definitely trying to make yourself feel better for that one.
Oh, I feel better
on the fantasy side. Yeah. Hey, I mean, you're coming in with when you help your team out like that too, even if you don't have a great day and you catch one big one that puts you over the hump, man, such a good feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm just busting on you.
I'll take it. I'll take it over what I had last week. So
Yeah.
what about
Who's
you,
next?
Todd? What happened to your pick, man? I mean, I probably could talk about this one more than you a little bit to what happened, but
I plead the fifth.
I'll tell you what.
No, Brandon. He said in the interview that he was new to the area, wasn't too familiar with the fishery, and was kind of winging it. But the guy can fish. I was trying to spotlight a guy that was new to the league, somebody that didn't, a lot of anglers don't, or a lot of people don't know. Thought that he'd put it together because I know he's a guy that can put it together anywhere he fishes. Just didn't work out for Brandon Brzezinski, but don't sleep on the guy going forward. Anytime you see him in the lineup, maybe not on the Susky until he proves us otherwise, but he's definitely a guy to consider in fantasy. But
Yeah.
that's another strikeout and miss for me right there.
He was on the fish too in practice, man. I'm not going to give up too much of what he had going on, but in one day of practice, I know like he had like close to 20 fish. He's just Kraz can attest to this, man. Practice and game day was not the same for us.
Night and day.
Night and day.
I feel like those guys that had a little
long.
bit deeper water action probably benefited a little bit more. That rain in the afternoon there, I feel like gave those fish a little wiggle room. So some decided to scoot. Well, I don't know.
He definitely played some games with me. I'm still hurting from that. That Susky beat the hell out of me. Practice was so much fun, and it was worth it. But I know Brandon had a good practice. Just didn't pan out for him. He did catch one fish in the game, but got a DQ. So pay attention if you're not watch the captain's meetings. Pay attention to the rules. You cannot pinch your fish tail in this and KFL, but you could in Hobie, and I think that was his mix-up. So it counted for Hobie, but not for the KFL. But I know obviously your sleeper definitely panned out for you. One of your teammates. How'd that work out?
Yeah, well, he'd been telling me he was up at Winnipesaukee for the last 3 weekends prior to the event, so he was on him. I knew he was on him. I was harping on that pretty much. During that sleeper conversation last week, that he was definitely going to put up some fish, and he did. He finished, I think, 7th or 8th overall in the standings. So definitely knew that was coming. I didn't know he was going to put up that much, but he ended up putting it together. So
yeah, he had a pretty good week.
Let's see, 130 and a half.
Yeah.
I know he was fishing in some pretty rough conditions too. They were saying 3 or 4 foot rollers. I don't know if that's true, but they were saying John DeCenzo was saying that he couldn't see Justin Gallo's kayak, and Gallo was fishing offshore, way offshore, and I mean, all out there by himself, going in, catching 130 and a half inches on Winnie. 4th time he's fished it, so that's awesome.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's get into our trash can alerts. I know we had some interesting picks this week. I took a whole team just because they only had 2 players. They only caught 2 fish overall between the 2 of them. I don't know who caught what, but it was just a tough matchup for them to go on the road like that with only 2 guys. So I was kind of hoping that they would make me eat my words and at least catch 10 fish and maybe put up a fight. But obviously that one proved to be a little too much for them. Nick's getting put on this for Todd. I might have came back to get me over on the Susky because he put it on us, man. He was on him.
I played the fifth again. No, man, good job for Nick, man. He went out and did what he was supposed to do for his team. In all honesty, I thought that his potential was to show out closer to 18 or 9, 17 or 18 points out there because a lot of people had picked him to kind of maybe potentially win that event. He came in 11th or 9th. So yeah, he cashed himself a nice check out there, and he helped his team take over first place. And congrats to Nick Audi, man. And what a way to make me eat it, man.
Yeah, if you haven't watched that broadcast,
that.
That's a fun broadcast to go back and watch. Go back and watch Nick, and Nick was just slinging it. He had, I can't even tell you, maybe 10 to 20 fish that were like 13 to 13 and 3/4. And if those were 14s, his score would have been ridiculous this week. It's just the way the Susky was setting up for him. But he ended up getting in some good fish, especially after we went past the 1 o'clock hour. He continued to catch some nice ones and put himself in a good position. So shout out to Nick for a big week on the Susky and all the PA guys. They had a pretty good showing.
Good job, Nick.
All right, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got like the MVP of the week. You picked 2 guys and you got 2 points here on your trash can alert. That's
pretty good
for trying to get a golf score the lowest possible. You did pretty well there, man.
That's pretty good.
Props. I got a 3-point guy, Jason Gardner. I mean, when we fished him in Maine, he put up 100, I believe 100 something inches, maybe 100 on the dot, 6 or 7 fish. He said he was drop shotting all day. I really haven't seen him do well on a shallow water place. Brady Ouellette ended up going off in that game, so it really didn't matter. I thought Gardner was going to have to step up.
Me too.
But he didn't. Brady Ouellette put the team on his shoulders and crushed it. So worked out for me with my 3 points. I hope I didn't have him in my lineup.
And what was his ownership change? I wonder if he had anybody owning him after that.
Ownership?
Just curious if somebody would put him in just to try to pull what they did against Todd.
Maybe.
I see that the going move now is whatever Todd picks for his trash can alerts, these guys are putting in their lineup. I know Nick was in there quite a bit when I looked through the lineups this week.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start putting my whole team on trash can alert.
Yeah, I don't see him. In here.
Okay, so they listen to you.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. No, they do. 2.5% own Nick Audi. That's who you're looking for.
Yeah, there you go.
He probably picked the guys. Come on, he probably picked himself because he was slaying them in practice, and he's like, "I'm going to show these guys."
Dude, that's what I did.
Sleeper pick right there.
I swapped out Rich Biggie for myself because I had such a good practice. What a huge mistake that was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, don't pick yourself in fantasy.
Yeah, don't ever pick yourself in fantasy.
You're just jinxing yourself. That's all.
Pick Kraz next week 7.
No, don't do that. No, I'll be all right in week 7. I think.
I'm sure. I can't wait to come down there and fish with you guys.
Yeah, you come. Oh, so you are coming down.
I am.
Nice. Yeah, it's a fun place. You get to throw drop shot and something else that won't work there. What? I don't know.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about me drop shotting. No problem with that. Yeah. All right, man. That was a fun show. Just a quick one tonight. Go over our picks. I'll make next week a little easier when we go through week 7. We'll just jump right into it. Get into the top lakes of the week with Todd next week. Get into some of our picks, and then we'll see what happens. I know we got a full lineup, but I don't think there's any more bye weeks, right, for the rest of the season?
No more bye weeks.
I don't think so. Yeah, we're going the final stretch, boys. I do want to say a few things at the end here. I wore my cross kicks all weekend, and they were great on the rocks, not slippery. When you get a rock in them or something like that, they flush out real easy. Guys, get your cross kicks. I know that they're a big sponsor for us. I tried them out. They were great. They worked for me great on the Susquehanna River. I probably walked around 70% of the time. So great product there, boys. You got KFL 25 is the code, correct?
That's it.
KFL 25. I'll leave that with my final thought.
Okay, let you go, Todd.
Give a big shout out to Rip It Energy. Rip It Energy, the energy drink of choice for the KFL. Go to any dollar store. A lot of gas stations in the Midwest carry them, and they support our troops. It's really big. So, very good flavors. You guys can't beat it. Try Rip It Energy. You guys will like it.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Three Bells Outfitter. Appreciate everything you guys do for the KFL. Motion Sports Network setting up all these live events for us. Wouldn't be able to do what we did, like watching the Susky and getting to watch teams fish like that if it wasn't for that. So appreciate everybody that helps KFL out and sponsors us and puts us on the water like we do. We'll see you all next week at 8 o'clock. Tune in tomorrow night for the show at 8 o'clock. Hindsight 2020. I'm sure there's going to be more drama. There usually is on Thursdays with that. So tune into that. It's some good ones on there. So I'm sure we'll have some trash talk about our picks on there again. So tune into that tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, and we'll catch you next week for the next week fantasy show.
Later, guys.
Later, guys.
See y'all.